Hi guys and welcome to my channel. This is Matzmade and today I'm going to share with you guys my weed story. Okay, the reason why I'm sharing, I want to make sure that I share all of my compromising stories now before they ever think of ordaining me as a pastor, or even if I'm not ordained, but before I start like fully being into ministry and sharing with you guys the gospel of Jesus Christ. Because once you give your life to Christ, it stops being about you, it stops being about what's interesting to you, and it starts becoming about God. So I thought, let me just share my compromising stories, all of them, and put that out of the way so that by that time, I start ministering, I don't have like any unnecessary baggage, and I wouldn't want to waste a good story, I wouldn't want to leave it untold. So here goes. One thing I've always wanted to try, weed. I've always wanted to try it. Like, I think I've just been anxious about how it feels to be high or drunk. Like, even when I drank alcohol, because I used to drink alcohol, but it was mostly because of peer pressure from the guy I was dating then. It was always about the fact that I wanted to know how it feels like to be drunk, to like not be in control, to lose like total control of your emotions and your feelings. That I always wanted that experience. But the problem was that alcohol just tastes horrible for me. It tastes horrible. And the thing is, what you get with 12 crates of alcohol, you get with one joint. That's and I'm just being honest. So that if ever you have a family member or you have a child who is addicted to weed, know that in order for you to get them to leave weed, you're gonna have to provide them with something amazing, something great or better that's going to replace the feeling that they get when they are high. Because it's nice being high, you laugh and all of that, and that's there's no better way to run away from reality and the realities of life than for something that you can actually buy for 10 rand. Buy something for 10 rand and actually get to forget about everything that you're going through, forget about your unemployment, forget about your so that's just how it is. And I want to put it out there that I've always wanted to try weed. I've always wanted to try, and for me it was an experience. But there were circumstances that actually led me to try it on that day, right? What happened was, it was the 25th of December, and I was feeling under the weather of problems, not of sickness, under the weather of problems. I was feeling very very heavy, and I was stressed out. And the reason why I was stressed out is because I stayed with my sister's child for like the whole year. I think it was my third year, if not my second year of staying with her child. So to me, I felt that automatically it meant that when she comes home for the December holidays, she's gonna get to watch the kids, and I'm gonna get to have a little break. So when my sister came back home, we would fight a lot. Would fight a lot most of the time because she didn't feel like she owed me anything, and I felt like I was owed that time to just take a break, that time to just relax and see what I'm going to do with my life, just for a few days or a week. And she felt like she didn't owe me that. She felt like I was not entitled to a break, even though I was doing that for her. And it caused a little bit of conflict to her, until I just got to a point where I understood, what, this is my baggage, and if I want a break, I'm gonna have to buy it. So I was stressed out, because the moment you start to feel entitled to people, and you start to feel like you deserve things that you have no control over, then you're gonna become hurt and broken. I realized now that I was not really hurt by what she did, but I was hurt by my own expectations of people. The fact that I expected to be automatic, that she's gonna drop everything and watch over the kids because I did. So with the whole thing, I remember that day I was really feeling, it was Christmas, and I was like feeling bad, and a friend of mine came over, and he's like, oh man, you're feeling down. And I was like, okay, I'm just going through so much. And then he's like, you know what, I'm gonna make a day, let's go and chill somewhere, let's just find a spot and then just hang out. I've got wine. And I was like, ah. And then like the baby daddy had taken Levi, like he had gone to his dad, and I was free. So I was like, okay, cool, let's go out, and let's just like let's shower more, yeah. And we went out, and then when we went, we found a spot and we parked, and then he took out the wine, and you know, I had a glass or two of alcohol. I know I said I hate it, but you know, I did drink it, and it was horrible. But yeah, it felt good to drink, even though it tasted horrible. I don't know if you guys know what I'm saying, you know. So we went and we just stood there and we were talking, like we weren't doing anything we were not supposed to. So we there and he pulls out a joint and then he starts lighting it up and then he's like, "Do you want?" I'm like, "No, devil, get thee behind." And the devil was like, "Come on," and I was like, "Okay, you know what? Maybe I will try it." And then I took it and then I tried it. I tried it and you know, and when we finished with the first joint, he was like, "I think I'm not gonna have another one. I think I'm already high." And then I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna have another one. And then he rolled another one for me, and then I started, you know, all by myself, like the whole. Hey, that guy's stuff is yeah, and you know, it was like, oh, okay, I feel a little tingly. And then the moment we were like, okay, it's almost dark, and I think Levi's gonna come back now. So just take me home. And then he drove me back. And then when we got in the car and we were on our way back, we started to he started asking me questions about like certain things that happened in the village, and I started explaining the story. And as I was busy telling, I feel like he was asking me those questions on purpose, you know, because he wanted to hear what I have to say and how I'm gonna say it, you know. So I started to explain to him about a certain guy who stays around here, and I was like telling him stories, and I just started laughing. I started laughing and I started laughing, I started laughing. And then he just kept quiet and he just watched a movie unfold. And then I stopped. I stopped the first time. And then the second time I was like, and then he asked me again, he's like, "You were saying about this guy." And I started with my story again. And I burst into laughter. I was laughing. And then I was like, "Oh my God, make it stop." And I was shouting like, "Make it stop. I want to stop laughing so much." You know, and when we finally dropped me off, I got to the gate and I stood by the gate and then I was like, yeah, how am I going to get into this house without people noticing that I am not me? So I got to the house and then when I stood by the door, I called Patience, and I was, "Patience, bring me a chair." And then Ceci brought me a chair and I sat by the door, like in my sitting room. I sat by the door. I sat on the camp chair outside. And then I told her to bring me a glass of Coke. And I was like hoping that, you know, the glass of Coke would calm me down, would like tone me down. And I was worried because I knew that my baby is gonna come any minute and he's gonna bring Levi. And I knew that I was not up for it at all. And then you know, so okay, fine, she brings me Coke, I drink the Coke and I can feel, you know what, I'm just not myself. And then I call my sister, to me, Daniel. I'm like, can you please come help me, because I know that I was like, dude, I am so high, like I am not myself. And then I know that the guy is gonna come and bring the child and I'm not gonna be able to carry him and carry the bag. We will fall, all three of us. So I was like, I want you to help me. When we go there, you're gonna carry the child and I'm gonna carry the bag. And then we go there and we go there. You know what? I tried my best to make sure that the conversation is as short as it can possibly be before he smells my breath. And we came back and we were in the house, right? And then when we sat in the house, I remember at least Levi slept early. He slept early and I felt so hungry. I think I ate, like I buy Levi snacks, like a huge plastic, and I buy and put in there. I think I ate like my 15 to 20 packets of Simbas that night only. When I woke up in the morning, there were like packets of Simbas all over my. I ate, and I slept. I made a video. I just can't show you the video because it was so out of it. And anyway, my phone, Levi broke my phone, and I had to, you know, get another phone. So that was my experience. That was the first day. So came the second day. The second day, I don't know, a friend of mine came over. This other guy comes over and he's like, man, can I see you? And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, Ceci, watch over Levi, I'll be back in a moment. And I go, and then we chill in the car. He's like, let's go to the garage. There's like a garage about 20 kilometers away. He's like, let's go to the garage. And I tell him, I was like, you know what, I had this experience yesterday and it was nice. And it was like, and it was nice, and this happened, and I was like, I would like to try it again. And then he was like, you know what, I'm gonna take you up on that offer. And then we went, and then we got to the garage. And we got to the garage, he's like, there's someone that I know, he might know someone who might like roll us, you know, a joint. And then when we got to the garage and asked that guy, and he's like, no, I don't know anyone here, but if you drive straight and then you find a clinic and turn and do this and this, you'll find a guy, right? His name is what. And then we were like, okay, cool, we're doing this, we go. And that time it's around 9 to 10. It's 9 to 10, no, 10, let me say 10 to 11, 10 to 11. And we drive around, we go to the village, and we're in there, and then we're looking for this guy. And then we're like, hey, we bump into people, where is this place? And then like it was empty on the streets because it was so late. And until we drove around and found that house. And when we eventually found the house, that's when we went inside, and then we were like, oh my gosh, we want this and this and that. And they was like, okay, cool, give me 20 bucks. And gave him 20 bucks, and then he rolled us this huge joint. And you know, we got into the car and we like smoked it until we got here. And you know, that one wasn't strong, you know, because it was like, it was very thick, you know, but it had no, it just didn't do anything. I don't know, maybe because of the wine the previous day, but you know, that one was just like, it was not the experience. So I was like, you know what, let me just forget about this, let me forget it happened, because if I think about it and I remember it and I focus on, you know, how it actually made me feel, it's very easy to get, you know, addicted to the feeling. Because people don't really get addicted to the product, they get addicted to the feeling, you know. But it did make me realize that if we wanna, a lot of people, especially in the village, we have a lot of boys that are addicted to weed. And it's not the weed that they're addicted to, it's how it makes them feel. They don't have anything better to do, so it gives them an escape from reality, from what they're going through, the hunger they're going through, they're sick, and there's a whole lot of things that is going on in their lives, and that gives them an escape. It gives them a chance to, you know, focus on something else and be someone else. So if you're gonna help someone who's addicted to weed, you must be able to provide them with something that's gonna replace that, you know, feeling of being high. You know, it's like when someone is addicted to sex. If you are gonna help someone that it's not really sleeping with different women that person likes so much, it's the feeling that he gets from sleeping with all of these women, the feeling of power and control. So if you are with that kind of a person, it means that therefore you need to find out how you can give him that feeling of power and control, and not the sex. Because you can have a guy who, you know, you are the greatest, woman, you are famous, they know you from east to west to south to north, that you know you are skilled in that department, and he can still come and go, you know, without even staying. So it's not really that they are looking for, they're just looking for the feeling of being in control, you know, that feeling of being important. It's not really about that. So when you see someone who sleeps around, just know that it's not that they like sex so much, but it's the fact that they are looking for something out there to fill the void that they have inside of themselves, and then they think that they can find in that product. So unless they have something that's going to give them that same feeling without providing the sex part, then they're not going to stop, you know. That's why you with him, you're in the house, you're nagging, you're telling him to stop, you're doing this and that, and he's not stopping, because you know, you can't really give him what he's looking for out there. Because honestly, okay, let me not get into detail, but that's my story, and that's my, you know, advice. If you have someone who's really addicted to it, find out what is it that they really need, you know, and meet that need. And after you've met that need, you know, you'll be able to help that person. Because with my friend, with the, you know, that prayer that you have to pray for 2 hours, you have to pray for 2 hours until you feel that intimacy with God. When you are high, you will just say Father, and you will be in the heavens. I'm telling you, the feeling that you get from being high, that you see that's why it's easily addictive. I don't think you can just tell someone to stop smoking without, you know, any form of intervention. It's too much. You pray and you fast for that feeling that people get. You buy crates of alcohol for you to get that feeling that someone can get with one joint, you know. So that's one thing that I just want you to consider and share my story. So that's my story. Would I do it again? Definitely. Will I do it in front of people? You know, so yeah, that's my story. And thank you guys for watching. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please make sure that you do subscribe and watch, you know, more amazing videos. So this is my story about how you know, motherhood is like, you know, playing with me. Like Bona, it's got me like, you know, yeah, this thing is not easy, man. Hey, why didn't you guys warn us though? Why didn't you guys warn us that it's going to be like this? Oh, you guys are not good at all. So that's my story, and thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, bye.